Hey everyone, Dr. Chem here. Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're popping the hood on analytical chemistry to see exactly how we measure trace vitamins in our food. We'll be walking through the complete experimental details for estimating vitamin A in complex food samples. It's honestly a fascinating game of molecular hide and seek. Here's the roadmap for today. We'll cover the analytical challenge, materials and safety, step-by-step sample prep, chromatography and detection, calculations and results, and finally, real-world applications. All right, Section 1, the analytical challenge of finding trace nutrients. So think about it for a second. How do we actually know a food contains the exact vitamin levels printed on the label? It's a massive analytical headache, frankly, because fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A don't just float around freely. They're locked in a matrix of complex lipids, proteins, sterols, and triglycerides that are literally actively trying to hide them from us. Now, take a look at the chemical structure of retinol, our main target for vitamin A. Notice that long hydrocarbon chain? Because of that structure, it has a really high partition coefficient, a log P of about 5.7. In plain English, it's highly fat-soluble. We can't just run some water over it and wash it out. It is chemically locked inside the fat of the food itself. This brings us to a process called saponification. Saponification is basically the chemical engine of this entire assay. We treat the sample with a strong alkali to break down those interfering lipids and set the vitamin A free. It converts the messy triacylglycerols into fatty acids, acting as a mandatory cleanup step so we can actually get the vitamins into their free, analyzable form. Okay, moving to Section 2, materials and safety, focusing on critical reagents. Let's open up our chemical toolkit. First up, we use a 50% solution of strong potassium hydroxide to violently break down that food matrix. We also add a 2% pyrogallo solution in ethanol. That acts as our antioxidant, which is absolutely crucial to prevent our target vitamin from oxidizing during the harsh heating steps. Then we rely on non-polar solvents, like petroleum ether or hexane, to pull the fat-soluble vitamin out. And finally, we use highly pure methanol to reconstitute it for the machines. But as the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, the FSSAI, strictly warns in their methodology, this isn't your standard cooking class. Retinol is incredibly sensitive to light and oxidation, so we are literally doing this in a dark room or under UV-shielded lighting while handling severely caustic chemicals like potassium hydroxide. It's intense, but we have to protect both the scientist and the sensitive vitamins. On to Section 3. Step-by-step sample preparation and benchtop procedures. Following the standard procedures from Agilent and the FSSAI, we kick things off by meticulously weighing out just 1 to 2 grams of our thoroughly homogenized sample into a flask or centrifuge tube. We add our protective pyrogalol antioxidant, give it a good vortex, and then drop in that caustic 50% KOH. After that, the whole mixture gets baked in an incubation oven at 75 to 80 degrees Celsius for exactly 45 minutes to completely obliterate that food matrix. You can actually see the physical transformation happening right there on the lab bench. What starts as a complex, cloudy mess of food, say an infant formula or a raw egg, gets systematically broken down by the saponification process until the vitamin A is finally chemically accessible. Next up, we have to actually extract our target. Now, traditionally, this meant doing a really tedious liquid-liquid extraction, but we're using modern techniques here. We load that saponified mixture into advanced supported liquid extraction or SLE cartridges, like the Agilent Chem Elute S. We elute the sample with hexane to isolate just the fat-soluble vitamins. Then we blow off that solvent under a gentle flow of nitrogen gas at 40 degrees until it's completely dry. Finally, we precisely reconstitute that pure, isolated vitamin residue in methanol. Boom, ready for the machine. Section 4, chromatography and detection methods. Here's where the magic happens. We push our methanol sample through a specialized reversed phase C18 analytical column. As the molecules separate out, we shine an ultraviolet light precisely between 325 and 326 nanometers. Why that exact number? Because that's the exact wavelength where the conjugated double bonds in retinol absorb light. It basically makes them shout, "Here I am," to our detector. And just look at how beautiful this final chromatogram is. See that distinct, sharp peak rising right up from the baseline? That is our isolated retinol. the extraction is so clean that we get this undeniably clear visual proof that our targeted vitamin A has been successfully isolated and detected, completely free from any of that interfering food matrix noise. All right, Section 5, Calculations and Results, where we actually quantify the vitamins. We do this by taking the area under that peak we just saw and plugging it into the standardized FSSAI mathematical formula. Basically, we multiply the peak area of our unknown sample by the concentration of a known standard along with the dilution factor. Then, we divide all that by the peak area of the standard multiplied by our original sample weight. It sounds like a lot of math, but it gives us our exact result in milligrams per kilogram or parts per million. What's truly staggering here is the sheer sensitivity of this method. According to the official FSSA methodology, the limit of quantification for this assay is just 0.1 milligrams per kilogram. That's insane. We're literally quantifying traces of vitamins down to a tiny fraction of a single part per million. Let's wrap up with Section 6, Real-World Applications and Global Health Impact. You know, this entire process isn't just some abstract academic exercise. It forms the absolute backbone of the AOAC standard method performance requirements. This is a global dispute resolution method used all over the world to guarantee that life-saving products, especially infant formula and fortified adult nutritionals, actually contain the vital nutrients a growing body absolutely needs to survive and thrive. And the methodology is rock solid. As the Agilent data clearly proves, this supported liquid extraction approach recovers highly accurate levels of vitamin A across some seriously tough, diverse matrices. I mean, we're seeing an 86% recovery in complex baby formulas, 92.6% in raw eggs, and over 85% in canned tuna. The chemistry just flat out works. Thanks for joining me, Dr. Chem, for this explainer. We've seen how saponification, selective extraction, and precise chromatography all work together to guarantee product safety. So, the next time you pick up a fortified food product or a container of infant formula, take a close look at that single quiet line on the nutrition label and ask yourself, what other invisible chemistry is protecting the food on your plate?